only one man broke 10 seconds, and it was Christian Coleman, 9.95 seconds, heat 4. He gets the win. There were some surprises in these other heats. JT Smith won heat 1. He beat Bromell. Bromell looked to be a bit injured after. I haven't watched the interview yet to get his post-race feelings, but Michael Norman didn't qualify out of heat 1. Heat 2, PJ Austin won it. Heat 3, Charleston, Lyles, Carnes, and then Amir Willis. And then that aforementioned heat 4 had Marvin Bracey Williams pull up with something, not sure what it was, if it was a cramp or something more severe, and he crossed the line in 8th. So top line, if you're looking at this, Coleman gets through, Lyles gets through, Bromell gets through. The top collegians that we had been talking about going in Courtney Lindsay, PJ Austin, DeMarcus Fleming, they all get through. The wild card in Crevant Charleston is through, but there's also some names that we didn't expect to be in such a good position that are in there, like JT Smith.
The second and third fastest man in the world last year, based on finishing at Worlds, Bromell and Bracey. It's just weird, like how just 1 year later they go from two of the top 3 guys to now one getting hurt in this prelim, and then Bromell not looking like, kind of with the weird ankle tweak at the finish line. It shows that anything can happen, and that while we looked at the U.S. depth and be like, there's so many guys. I remember you used to say this on the podcast. You would just like list off 8 different guys of like, this one, Curley, Norman, Noah, Coleman, Bromell, Bracey. You just kept on going on. And then you realize, well, injuries happen and weird things happen in races. And that's what's happened to Bracey and Bromell. We'll see Bromell still on the edge there. He has the 5th qualifying time, though, so it's not the end of the world for Bromell. But for Bracey to go out like that, I was kind of surprised. I thought Bracey had a chance to kind of show consistency and get back on the team, or at least even get back on the relay. But for Bracey not to make it is kind of a surprise.
Well, you just hope there's full health, full recovery for those guys, right?
Yeah.
Like because that's unfortunate. And yeah, I was talking about the depth all season. I was like, we can put together an 8-person amazing U.S. final. And contingent on that was Curley running. And you're like, well, Curley's probably not going to run. He has the bye. And I said, all right, cool. It's still going to be 7 guys. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be Lyles. It's going to be Coleman. It's going to be Bracey. It's going to be Bromell. It's going to be Baker. It's going to be Bednarik. It's going to be Norman. And then there's Makai Williams and all this other stuff. And you just see some years it all comes together and some years it all comes apart. And this is one of the years where it's coming more apart. I was curious about Lyles because, yeah, he has the amazing last 50. He seemed farther back than he normally is. And I wonder in the final or semis if he's just going to run out of real estate. Now, Charleston's really good, and Charleston is a threat to make the team. And he ran 10:01. And if you're just going through based on time, which I know is tricky, Lyles only had the what did he have in terms of time here? What is he ranking in terms of the 6th best time? But I just thought he was pretty far back, 50 meters in, to the point where I was starting to have a few doubts that he'd be able to claw back, but he did.